What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and I feel like talking about the greatness, man. You know, it's been a good while, and I miss talking about it, man. It truly is one of the things that I think about the most of, man, bro. I miss reading it every week, man. You know, I thought the anime ending truly destroyed me, but not having any Bleach at all to consume on a weekly basis, and then with my phone dying so fast, and my ability to put Brave Souls has been greatly diminished, even though I have Neliel now, but still. Let's go ahead and talk about one of my favorite moments in all of anime and manga, period. And to this very day, it's hard to say, but without a doubt, it's top two, stretching three. But I think top two favorite transformation sequences of all time. Listen, man. I was there, and maybe I might have watched it a rerun of it because I was like 5. I don't remember when Goku first went Super Saiyan. I recalled watching that on my television. When Gohan went Super Saiyan 2, I definitely recall watching that on my television. When Vegeta first turned Super Saiyan, I recall watching that on television. When Goku went Super Saiyan 3, I recall watching that on television. When Goku went Super Saiyan 4, I definitely recall watching that on television because the next day, all of us in school were going insane. It was insane, you know, and that kind of stuff. You know, it's that kind of stuff that you remember as a kid. And when Aang went into the Avatar state for the first time, you know, that's a lot of stuff that you can recall for in terms of transformations, like as a kid. You know, Yusuke, the original Mazuku transformation, as stuff like that. You know, you recall Kenshin going into the Batosai state, like that kind of stuff. It sticks with you. But there's one transformation that I can immedientely draw it as soon. The soundtrack is playing in my head as we speak. Doon den doon den doon den doo doo. And right before that, I was playing Never Meant to Belong, as this man Ichigo proceeded to create a crater around him. Man, put out his blade. Put his hand right. It was the build up to the moment, yo, and you're just like, because the thing is, throughout the entire Soul Study arc, you know, you're sitting here and you're thinking about it, because when they first bring up the Bankai, when Mayuri brings it up, and you're going through, you're like, man, like, is Ichigo gonna be able to learn this? I mean, he has to, and especially after what we see whenever Ichigo and Byakuya duke it out the first time in episode 41. And just how stronger Byakuya is, but Ichigo still, like, he's still keeping up. So you think to yourself, it's like, and then Ichigo, of course, he starts going through the training, he has to learn Bankai in 3 days, and you're like, yo, what is this thing gonna look like? Like, how is it gonna be? So whenever you actually get to episode 58, and oh god, bro, still one of my, that and 59 are so legendary, man. But when you first see it, when you see Never Meant to Belong is playing, yo, he has flashbacks to the rest of the arc, why he's doing this, what is motivating him to do this, and he proceeds to put out his Byakuya is shook. He's like, there's no way now. Bankai, that one line, his first Bankai in both English and Japanese, the Bankai and Bankai, like, those two in English and in Japanese are so legendary. And I say this because I used to have my iPod Touch used to be jailbroken, and whenever I opened it, it was Ichigo about to transform, and whenever you opened it, it said Bankai, and then the screen, whenever, like, the iPod Touch in the background would be Ichigo and his Bankai. It was so sick. It was still to this day one of my favorite lock paper wall screens I ever had whenever I had a jailbroken phone or iPod. It was so beast. So flippin' beast. But that first Bankai, the first one that he yells, is an iconic pose in Bleach. The actual him going like this, and then the clouds everywhere, the animation of the wind blowing, everyone is shook, everyone feels it. Freaking Rangiku and Toshiro were like, what is this? They were shook. They're running over here trying to go to Central freaking 46, and you feel the spiritual pressure, you feel the greatness, and this man comes out, you hear the dun 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 dun, that legendary soundtrack, and Byakuya is shook. It first closes in on the blade, and you see that long black blade, you're like, yo, and then you see the beast robe, and that godly design, that one little bandage Ichigo had on his face right here, the blood is trickling down his face, he looks to the side, Tensa Zangetsu. Yo, and like not even just that. After that, Byakuya questioned him. He's like, "That little piece of crap, you know, that's no Bankai sword." It's like, how dare you? How dare you continue to treasure upon all the stuff we hold sacred? And Byakuya is talking so much junk, and Ichigo flash steps in front of him and puts it in his neck. He puts it in his flipping throat, and Byakuya is shook. And you're like, yo, this is sick. This is just sick. And that's just that by itself. You know, not even including the rest of the fight. Ichigo's Byakuya's my favorite fight in Bleach, and was for a long time my favorite fight in all of anime. For a long time. Still top 3, no doubt. Still top 3. But like that initial first when he flashed them, I saw the speed. Yo, I saw the speed. When you flashed, when you shake Byakuya was known to be, besides Yoruichi, the fastest character at that point in time. And Ichigo was just right there, right in his face. He had the blade in his flipping throat. And you're like, dude. So this chapter to me, or this chapter and episode, meant so much to me that it was one of the first wallpapers. Those two right there are the first wallpapers I ever put on my wall. The Gear Second Luffy and the Ichigo going Bankai. Those were the two first wallpapers that ever went on my wall, because those two first transformations will forever be legendary to me. But Ichigo's in particular was extremely legendary to me because, I mean, as I used to hype up Ichigo so much, because at this point in time, man, my Tard levels were unearthly. And I used to always tell people that, of course, you know, now looking back on it, I was pretty much an idiot, but I always used to say like how much Ichigo would destroy freaking Naruto and Goku at that point. Like, they can't see my boy. So literally actually. So then in the actual chapter itself, just the panels, guys. The art in these panels. I mean, Kubo was on his A game. This was the first manga volume I ever bought. Ever. This, Naruto Volume 1 and One Piece Volume 1 were the first volumes I ever bought. But Bleach Volume 19 is the first manga volume I ever bought. This thing came home, Black Moon Rising, SC and Adult Swim, the legendary program, but the Bankai, and then you just see the shake, and then the godly panel. Now, this panel in particular, if you guys were around in the internet back then, it didn't matter like what you played, you know, whether you're a RuneScape player like myself, whether you were like, you played Naruto Arena, Soul Arena, Club Penguin, I don't give a damn what you played. This pose and this scene was so flippin' legendary that you saw the name Tensa Zangetsu, the name Bankai, the name Ichigo, like it just take over the internet after that. Like Ichigo was just the dude after that particular transformation. But if you guys can remember, on almost all the anime websites back then, almost all of them, and if you tell me otherwise, you are BSing me. If you guys remember back then, and all the anime websites you would watch on the internet to watch any subtitled anime, dubbed anime, whatever the case may be, any website when it comes to playing games online or whatever, anything that had things to upload on the internet besides the official sites like GameFAQs, Newground, and stuff like that, the actual fan-made sites to watch anime, 95% of them after this chapter was straight up Ichigo Bankai wallpaper. And if you tell me otherwise, you are BSing me. After Ichigo first went Bankai on Adult Swim, and I just even farther before that, like when he first did it in the Japanese sub, that panel and that scene was done so many different times in so many different wallpapers. Like you would see like in white and blue and red. The sword was always different colors, but the background would be like the moon. They always switched up the background, but the pose was always the same. Ichigo's first Tensa Zangetsu transformation, holding the blade, Tensa Zangetsu. Because it's such a legendary freaking thing, yo, with a bandage right here, the blood. And if you tell me that if you were around back then, and you played a lot of PC gaming like myself, and you remember like you would open up the other tab after like in the middle of like a RuneScape thing, whenever your friend would respond or whatever, playing Naruto Arena, playing Soul Arena or Club Penguin, I don't give a damn what you played, you know, Lenny, Shockwave.com, CartoonNetwork.com, whatever, and you always open up the other tab to do something, you know, to watch some anime or whatever. And if you tell me that you went to an anime website and you did not see this wallpaper at least once of Ichigo and his Bankai sword, didn't matter if it was a moon wallpaper, didn't matter if it was the actual scene itself, a black scene behind him, it doesn't matter. It was always the same wallpaper. It was Ichigo and his Bankai at first, because then it changed and it became Ichigo whenever he had like the half mask, and Ichigo full hollow and stuff like that. But for a time being, the Bankai pose was on every single flippin' anime website. am I BSing? If you were around back then, you know this is factual. You know this is factual. Because at that time, when it comes in terms of, at least for Bleach, Bleach was like the cool, like it was just the coolest thing in school. Like that was if you watched that, you were a beast, because everyone and their mothers was watching Dragon Ball GT. Everyone and their mothers was watching Naruto. But it felt like if you were watching Bleach, you were part of like yo, I'm watching actual greatness. At least that's how I felt. Like, I've always loved my Naruto. I will always love Naruto. But Bleach was always my favorite back then. And when it came to this particular scene, I remember it clear as day, seeing it on all these different anime websites. Yo, it's legendary, man. Come on. So, yeah, man, definitely. This is, for me, one of my favorite transformations of all time. You know, I love the hollow transformation that he has later on in episode 272 and in volume 41. I absolutely love that transformation in chapter 350. Love the full hollow transformation. I love the Mugetsu transformation, all that stuff. Ichigo has some beast forms. But the first one, the Bankai transformation, to me will always be the best, man. It was just so goat, and it caught me. Because, you know, all of the build up to it, man. And it went from the simple being a huge blade to being such a small blade with a badass robe, looking like a Grim Reaper. And it was the pose, dude, the pose! Yeah, that's by far my favorite. One of my favorite moments in the whole. It's definitely up there. It's oh my god, man. The first Bankai sequence, that entire from Ichigo. I'll tell you what, man. From Ichigo arriving, whenever Rukia was about to execute in episode 53, from Ichigo arriving in episode 54. And like the flashbacks and remembering everything, Ichigo shows up. He's like, "Hey," and he rescues Rukia. It's like, "I never asked you to rescue me." And Ichigo takes on the 3 lieutenants. Now you feel like number one. He clashes with Byakuya. Then we switch over to Yoruichi and Soifun for a little bit when we come back, and it's Ichigo versus Byakuya again. Anything from when Ichigo shows up to save Rukia up until the end of Soul Society arc. That right there, in particular, the whole arc is godly. But that right there, from episode 54 to 63, or from volume 18 to flipping volume 21, or 20, yeah, 20. That right there is the epitome of awesome sauce, man. And you can't tell me different. It's the way it is. It's the way it flipping is, man. The entire Ichigo's Byakuya fight is legendary, but I cannot. I mean, there's another shock in there, you know. When I first see the whole Ichigo thing come on, who are you? I have no name. That's a legendary scene, but I'll say that for another video. But just in particular, just the first Bankai transformation. I was obsessed, addicted, and anything. Tensa Zangetsu is still my favorite Bankai. That's how much of an impression this thing had on me, man. Like, I thought Byakuya's Bankai was so beautiful. But this one, this Tensa Zangetsu, yo, that was the sickest thing I'd ever seen. And still to this day, the Black Getsuga is still one of my favorite things, man, ever. It's so sick. And the way he moved, how fast he was, you know, that initial speed blitz when he first went up to Byakuya and he put it in his throat. Let me bring up the panel. Man. Because it's too goat. It is too flipping goat. Look at this. My god, dude. Look at that panel, bro. He put it in his throat. He's like, "Man, I could have taken you right there. What you doing? Why is your guard not up, guy? Do you know who I am?" Ichigo greatness, man. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about the first Bankai transformation down below. To this very day, will forever. It will never ever stop being legendary. As every single day passes, it will forever be more legendary, because it was just that transformation, man. It's just, that's the way it is. And you know that the Gear Second transformation and Goku's original Super Saiyan transformation are for me, like, in terms of being legendary. I have those three, like no doubt. I love a lot of transformations in anime and manga, and there's some that, you know, like Gones and whatever, that I watched way later on. But those three, man, like I told you, the first two wallpapers I ever got was Luffy's G2 and freaking Ichigo's Bankai. Yo, that Ichigo Bankai wallpaper was everywhere, bro. It was so sick. I was like, yo, if you're not watching Bleach, man, what are you doing, bro? This is greatness. But regardless, have an awesome day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this. I'm going to do this again for another scene I really love in Bleach. There's a lot of them, so we can talk about this for days. Have an awesome day. So glad to be talking about Bleach again, man. It's going to be awesome sauce, guys.